Welcome to Secure Management Faculties, where your mind is key before you unlock what is seen. Secure Agent Dreyfuse. As the usual standard below, Sell Your Guns tab. Follow the link. If you have an extra firearm you want to get rid of to make some extra currency on the side, follow the link, fill out the paperwork, send that gun out, get that extra currency. SecureManagementFaculties.com. Default standard as well. If you need to send me a message, head to the website below, follow the link, hit the Establish Contact tab right next to my professional image. Send me a message, I'll respond promptly. Let's get into the meat of the topic. We'll be talking about social landmark trap. And this will be speaking in regards to those who intentionally target you by setting up fixed positions to correctly put themselves in right unconsciously for their ego and or for intentional positions of an unavoidable right that you're going to fall in. So let's talk about it. First and foremost, we're going to be imagining in our minds a bridge. And this bridge is going to have point A and point B. Point A is where you're going to be starting. Point B is where you're going to be going. And before you get to the end of point B, you see a register of sorts, right? Or you see a person, doesn't matter. However you have them standing there, you're going to have to pass this person's way. So first we're going to be talking about unconscious, then we're going to be talking about the conscious. They're both deadly in their ways, but obviously conscious is more methodical. But we're going to be talking about it in both of these terms just to get a lesson of both below and above your head so we can have a full spectrum of understanding of how these things can be done. So let's talk about the unconscious person. The unconscious person is that's sitting up at point B, right across from your point A. It's going to be sitting there in a position to intercept you, right? And it doesn't have to be you, it can be anyone. So the point is, this person is this landmark social trap. And so as they're standing there with the understanding of what the bridge is, but not directly by mind. And so let's say this bridge was the bridge that only accepted a certain brand of people. So let's say it was the farmer's bridge. And the person all their life seen farmers cross this bridge, but they never really consciously acknowledged it. They already seen it out of their peripheral. They've been around it. They've heard negotiations about it, but they've indirectly didn't take responsibility of those thought processes of farmers crossing this bridge. So by chance, you are crossing this bridge, right? And you are a farmer, right? And so what happens is these people, right, for various reasons, we're not going to get into the particular motivations, but to the point when they get there, a simulation of self-dominant right for the insecurity of feeling unright is being played here. And when I say unright, I am talking about the condition of when a person is really drenched in their purpose to make themselves feel a condition of how can I say, proper supporting, where they will have to grab out whatever trophy that they can have. Trophy not as in a specific thing, but just as a atmosphere to accolade themselves, right? And this could be happening on autopilot. So just getting to the point, the person tells you, hey, I knew you was going to come here. I knew farmers crossed this bridge. I know that farmers are going to cross this bridge, and I know that you're not going to be the last farmer that crossed this bridge. Now, not only there's a sign above the person's head that says a farmer's bridge, the person deliberately never took into context of the concentration of the actual acknowledging of the experience of seeing people cross this bridge that were automatically farmers And it doesn't have to be farmers in context, it could be anything. And not only in most obviousness, there's a sign that says Farmer's Bridge. And so this person will completely accolade themselves continuously to give themselves a sense of dominant foresight that was never essentially available in context to be in forefront in their conscious mind with responsibility. But they're going to take the accolade as if it was that in the first place, even though they're fronting about it. So be aware, but also be gentle to the degree that the context implements it to these people who are self-serving and trophifying themselves for the next big hit of dopamine for their mental rewards. Now we're going to be jumping into the conscious application of what these social landmark traps can come into. And this is the person when they get completely sophisticated. You see, this social landmark trap is no different than something that you will find commonly known as like clickbait. People complain about it, but they sure fall for it a lot. Because the thing is, what is intercepting of your attention is alluring to the fact that you're looking for the same dopamine hits and you fall into the trap. But everybody has to play a role in making a choice. So this is not about who's better and who's not master in the form of making choices, of being disciplined from their hungered or concentrated needs of wanting to stimulate their wants and desires. I digress. The point is, this person that is on the other side of the bridge at point B is now intelligent. This person knows that this is the Farmer's Bridge. This person actually has set up something at the Farmer's Bridge. And so, let's say for all intents and purposes, right, the person is a landholder of sorts of the actual bridge. And so the person set up a weak plank or a weak area of the bridge, and every time the farmers come across, they step on this part and it breaks. And so what happens is the person makes this big story, this big ruckus about it, and it may be true. It may be even legally true. The point is, once you stepped on this portion of the bridge, right, that was common knowledge to be observed, you may be a new farmer in the game crossing this bridge, the person will make an uproar. And remember, you're already in the context of being in their right. And so you can pretty much predict what's going to happen. You're going to have to pay some sort of fee. The person says, well, it's common knowledge that to every known farmer that you're supposed to walk to the right side of the bridge towards the center. You deliberately walked on the cautionary, stationary side. And that side is already strapped off with some sort of notice. And it's going to be some sort of minimum notice, like a mark that you probably can barely see. And then he's going to point out, or she's going to point out and say, the mark is there. Now, due to whatever law or whatever situation and context is in place, you have to pay this fee because of this piece of the bridge that you've broken. And every other farmer that's behind you is going to walk past and be like, yes, especially the more veteran ones are going to say yes in correct fashion. Yep, that's true. And you're going to have to just simply pay that fee, or you're going to be negotiated to pay that fee. Now, regardless if that pans out or not in the story, if you're willing to fight that over the insignificance of it, it doesn't matter. And that's the thing. That's another technique that's in place. It'll be so insignificant that you won't even consider fighting for it. But just imagine the reoccurring currency of that, of multiple insignificance. That means that this person is going to be tallying up, if you will, a nice amount of currency with this same methodical mistake that's going to be taking place. So the lesson is clear. 1, unconscious individuals who lay unconscious social landmark traps are looking for that next hit of social trophifying themselves. I say also be gentle, because some people are not noticeable of that and they just need their day. So don't be too harsh on it, considering the context of the facts and the situation or occurrence at that time. The next, it will simply be the intentional subject. The intentional subject will lay this trap, and once you're in there right, there's no going back. But what you need to do is you need to scrutinize the situation for what it is in context. Because once that tactic is revealed, that is simply it. Now, not saying other things can't go over your head. You can even relay yourself, or you can either commit to that tactic as long as the standard is there by complying with it until you're able to substantially have a higher development of accuracy to challenge it. But just understand that these intentional social landmark tracks are put in place, whether unconscious or conscious, or whether for their own specific desire to trophify, if you will, themselves for their own insecurity, or simply to set out an intentional trap just to make you fall into it. All right, secure management faculties, when your mind is key before you unlock with a scene, secure agent Dreyfus. I appreciate all who listen to observe to this social landmark trap topic. Again, secure management faculties website below, sell your guns tab below. Appreciate all who attended. I'll see you on the next one, or rather hear you on the next one.